podium.
All
Hello.
right. All right, here we are. Live once again.
More nights with death. Right
Holy
here.
hell. All these people are here already. I just went over and looked. There's like all these people coming in. I guess they're kind of sitting in the wings, right? Did you announce this? Did you announce this when people knew?
I did,
Cool.
of course.
Nice.
Hello, everybody. Good. Hello, America.
Hola.
Como está? How's everybody?
Yeah. So
that's kind of provocative.
What's that?
That was my comment before. Like, we're coming.
Oh, we're coming. Hey, so let's get caught up with the news. This is the news.
This is the news.
That should be our segment on here. This is the news. So speaking of which, hey Shannon, hey Paula, hey
Elder,
Vicky, Travis.
So
Megadeth, yeah, we just announced today on the metaltouroftheyear.com. There's going to be some live stuff coming up. Some live shows and performances and various things. So metaltouroftheyear.com. You know, technically we were supposed to start that tour, I think today, right? Wasn't it supposed to start? Yeah. So, and obviously I'm still in my house, so we're not on tour. But
no. I'm still in my house too, so we're not on tour either.
Yeah.
Double.
Are we going to go on tour? What is your thought?
Yes, we are going to go on.
Is that going to happen? When do you think? When do you think we'll know or announce?
I mean, look, we might end up. Look, we had a couple dates in August that supposedly are still on. I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe August, maybe September. I got some Texas offers coming in. But at some point this year, we will be on fucking tour. I promise.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I have to go play these songs live, man. I'm so Simple Truth and Over Now. I can't wait to play this new shit live.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And okay, so Phil, in fact, you and me have so many conversations and we rip through so many things. Tell the world and tell me one more time exactly what we're doing with these. We've got, because you said there's, because we fill me in again. I'm on a need to know basis. So what is the, so we got.
Which part?
Well, like you talked about, like on the ELLEFSON Spotify channel, you said there's
the Spotify. We got, the numbers are great, man. Over Now is blowing up at radio, which you saw, and much love to our friend Post Malone, and for the inspiration. Look, it's great, man. We got the Spotify channels up, and again, we're gonna probably drop a couple new songs on Spotify soon here. We're actually working on some cool, weird covers. We're probably gonna actually release before the record. Or the plan for the record is later this year, but who the fuck knows? But that's kind of our plan. I mean, it's like half done. It's going to all be done in the next month or two. So look, it might even come out this year, if not early next year. Yeah. I mean, that's sort of the loose plan. We're going to drop a couple more songs. Does everybody check that Simple Truth and Over Now, I hope? Show of hands.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. I know I just did a couple more interviews today, New Times in Phoenix. And there's another one that I did today. So I know it's really cool and really doing great at radio. I mean, Eric Baker, our radio guy, and Jody, they're blowing it up, which is so cool. And
Dr. Stan, my brother, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Stan's there. Nice. Our rock doc.
That is. He saves my ass so many times.
You know what's a friend of mine, Kirk, up in Detroit, was sending me pictures that, dude, they're tearing the Palace down, and they just put all this money into it. So if anybody here's is up in the Detroit area, the Palace, I mean, come on. Now, I remember doing the Nightmare Before Christmas for Riff up there, and Dee Snider was the host of it. We had just come from Buenos Aires. We just did South American tour. We flew from Buenos Aires, where it was summer, right up to Detroit, and right before Christmas, and then did that Nightmare Before Christmas. And Dee hadn't really been, he wasn't in the public eye. Twisted was off kind of on the sidelines for a few years. And so but Dee was the host, and Dee, of course, is awesome, and was just here with our stream a month ago. And yeah, good. I couldn't believe it. So anyway, just made me think of it with Dr. Stan, who's from Detroit and on the front lines, working with, testing patients for COVID. And so thank you, Dr. Stan.
And every time I'm sick, Dr. Stan saves my ass. So
he's the man. Stan is the man.
He really is.
He is the man. Hello from Buenos Aires. Yes. Hey, We got a few people here. We got Linus. We got Leonardo. Got a bunch of people from down there. And from Sydney. Hey, Anthony from Sydney. How are you, buddy? We're trying to get, we're scheduled to be back down there again in March, right? March 2021. So hopefully we will be there. So.
Oh. So we have so much shit going on. It's like there's so much to even talk about. So we got the Over Now is obviously out, and that's great. And so we're actually going to. Everybody keeps asking if we're going to do physical for Over Now and Simple Truth, and we might as well just go ahead and announce this too. It's probably going to go for pre-order this week. We are going to do a limited edition vinyl Simple Truth EP, basically the same EP that's on Bandcamp. And we're going to do an Over Now vinyl single that is going to be, one side is going to be the original version, and the B side is going to be a Randy Burns rock mix. So pretty fucking excited about that.
It is cool. I haven't worked with Randy since the Peace Sells album. He produced the Peace Sells album, and so now he's back. Tom's actually managing him. He is mixing. Yeah, some great stuff. I just literally heard the mix right before we hopped on the stream here tonight, and it's super good, man. It's super freaking, it's lean and mean, and it's like everything's just crushing on it. Super good. So
it's great. And look, if any bands out there need mixes, man, Randy's great.
Randy's the guy.
Yeah, Randy's awesome. So yes, we do have great coffee, and so David, all the coffee, if you go to ELLEFSONCoffeeCo.com and order coffee for the whole summer, every bag of coffee is going to come autographed by David. David actually took over coffee fulfillment. He is personally sending out and signing every bag of coffee that goes out this summer. So if you go to ELLEFSONCoffeeCo.com right now, all of your coffee bags will come autographed by this gentleman right here.
That is true.
How's that for personal service?
Hey, and I even drove it over to Colleen the other night, and it turns out I was filling some orders out, right? So I figured, look, I'm home. Look, my name's on the door. I need to be personally invested and put some sweat equity into the company, which I can do right now because we're not on the road, which is great. So it's cool. So me and Thom and Melody and our roaster here and Hannah here in town. And so just, it's nice. It's really, it's fun to be all of us working together on it. But it's so funny. I saw an address for Colleen here in Scottsdale. And I went, wait a minute, I'll just drive it over to her. And it turns out it's the girlfriend of a guy that Roman used to work for, my son.
Oh, wow.
So we went over to their house. We rang the door. We did film it, rang the doorbell. Turns out they were down the street at Sushi. So we went over to the sushi bar and dropped the coffee off for them.
Now that is service. Not only they weren't home, so you brought it to where they were.
Yes. I mean, Amazon would just leave it at the door, and FedEx might even need a signature, but we're like, you know what? It's like full on Wayne's World. We're going to drive around and find them and give it to them.
So if you order shit and you live in Phoenix, David might just show up. A couple weeks ago, that video got like 200,000 views. So somebody bought a bass from us on eBay for the David Ellefson Youth Music Foundation. David saw he lived in Tucson. Mm-hmm. So I didn't tell the guy, and David drove all the way to Tucson to go bring this guy his bass that he bought off of eBay.
Yeah, that was fun. I've been in the house for 3 months, so I was like, you know what? I'm good for a drive over to Tucson. So, hey, Mark Weiss. We might need a photographer for our new album. That's a good idea. It's funny. There's a girl named Mariah on here. She was talking about Dirk Diggler. I mean, you got to love a woman talking about Dirk Diggler. For those who don't know, just Google that one. That was funny. That was a funny comment here.
Yes,
can you get it delivered? I'd say Karen's asking about delivered to Orange County. Maybe this summer I might be over in California, possibly in July. So if that's the case, maybe. Orange County's a big county, though. We'll have to see. So, hola, Aldo. Right?
But yes, so go order coffee. Kathy, yes, hit me up if you want to do an order for the for Rockin' Gelato. We can definitely take care of you on that. You know where to find me.
Jason Turner, Boogie Nights. Good one. I didn't want to give it away. That's good trivia right there. Dirk Diggler and Boogie Nights. From our friend. We actually went and ate at his restaurant in Boston. The Wahlburgers.
Oh, the Wahlburgers. We did.
Yeah,
That's right.
Mark Wahlberg, right? Mark Wahlberg.
So you know what's really funny? I don't know if I want to say this on here, but so somehow my office phone number, like my my office phone number got put on the internet as the number for the Ellefson Coffee Co. in Jackson. So once or twice a week, I get some random phone call. Is this Ellefson Coffee Company? And the other day, somebody called me at 6 in the morning. Somebody fucking called me. I woke up, answered the phone, and they're like, "Is this Ellefson?" And usually I'm super nice. I just fucking hung up. It was like 6:30 in the morning. So,
well, if you're a coffee company, you should be open at 6:30 in the morning.
But so a guy called.
I'd be pissed too.
But a guy called. Usually I chat with them, and then I kind of they figure out who it is, and then they're like, "Oh my god!" A guy called today. And he's like, "Why does I have a question? David uses this kind of coffee maker." And he was asking all these questions about your coffee setup. And I said, "Look, we're doing a live stream tonight. Come on and ask David. So if he shows up, he's going to come and ask about you." But then I talked to him for like 10 minutes. He realized, he's like, "Wait, is this Thom? You're the guy who sings in his band." I'm like, "Yep." And he's like, "Oh my God, I love Simple Truth. I love Sleeping Giants. I listen to it constantly in my car." That's funny. It's fun, man. Sometimes I just get to have a fun little interaction with somebody who call and they realize it's me and they're like, "Holy shit."
Yeah. Anna, 2 to go. Exactly. I just saw Colleen was on here. She did get her coffee. And I even delivered it in a bag from a Sepultura bag that I actually got from Sepultura when I was in Sao Paulo. I thought this would be a nice extra touch right here.
Right?
So, yeah.
So speaking of the David Ellefson Youth Music Foundation, we finally got all of our stuff from our friends at Cisco. And everything's in place with everybody, all of our guys. So we're getting everything set up.
Here. Look at that. Look at that screen right there.
Oh, yeah, look at this. Look at this.
It's too bad I'm not a gamer. You could just be shredding in here playing games all day. I'd never leave.
Oh, I do. I literally, I have my PlayStation Now set up. So I just sit and play it on that all day. It's epic.
I wonder you don't pick up the phone when I call.
Oh,
you're gaming.
Now I game when you're sleeping. I game in the middle of the night when you're.
I know. I go to bed early, man. I got to go to bed early because I get up. I got a mountain bike ride. I'm not even mountain bike riding. I'm just kind of street bike riding. But I got to do it twice a day. I can do it the first thing in the morning. Get out of bed, and it's starting to get hot here. This last week was super nice, man. Me and Roman went out golfing this week, which is nice. He got golf fever, so he's like Mr. Golf guy now. But it's starting to get hot here in Arizona. So it's like you got to get up and get out the door early and go riding and then ride at night. We friends with Johnny Christ of Avenged Sevenfold. I am not. I've met those guys. In fact, when Portnoy played with them, they came through town and Mike hit me up and invited me down to the show. So I went down there and met the guys and watched Mike play with them. They were great, man. What a great opening to the show when the guy up in the truss and he puts a noose around his neck and jumps off and swings in front of the band hanging. That was very Alice Cooper. That was pretty metal. I like that. Yeah, those guys are good. We did a show together in Canada. I remember Megadeth and Avenged about, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago or something. So we'll be able to. So Abigail's asking about finding our coffee in the stores in Mexico. For a little while we had some stuff in one store there. Online is always best. We
honestly don't even ship to Mexico right now. We should try and find a Latin American district. Like right now, we pretty much do Europe. We have a separate company that doesn't Europe, and then we do the U.S. Canada is so expensive right now to ship anything, so we can't really even do Canada, let alone Mexico. It's just so expensive to ship over there. But
it is. And then you've also got all the stuff with customs and immigration, and, especially now with everything. So, so it's going to be, it's a little, it's just another whole nother level of distribution. That's why the online thing is, is good, at least here for America, and it works for parts of the UK and stuff like that. But Ellefson tea. We did
some for a while and nobody bought it. We had tea and honestly, it was really good, but nobody bought it. So now I exclusively drink the Vocal Zone tea.
Yes. Yeah. So Dave Goodstein was asking about Megadeth show in October. So all we know now is that the summer dates have been postponed till 2021. We are going to see about where the fall dates land. Honestly, look, we're ready to go. Trust me. I was just in Nashville last week. I was there for 11 days. Me and Dirk and Dave were down there cutting bass and drums. We got that done on the record, and so that's great because now we can kind of keep that moving along now. But hey, believe me, we would love to get out on the road, but it's the promoter, the Live Nation, and even them. You think about it, you can't route a tour when half of the states in the country are shut down, and the governors aren't going to open, and you can't even play. So, it's unprecedented times for sure. So
it is, yeah. But yeah, David just said they just recorded all the bass and drums, I think, right?
It's great. Yeah, Max, it's I don't even want to say too much, but it's fucking awesome. So I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to overhype and talk about stuff. So it's done. And so new record. I was always saying new record would be 2021, and it looks to be the case now. So which is good. I mean, look, we got the time now through the summer to be working on it. So it's good. There's good vibes around it. So yeah, and Dave's health he's much better. I mean, Dave was doing great back in January and February when we were touring in Europe. He was able to sing and singing better every day, putting new songs in the set, things like Angry Again and which this lineup has never played. Dread and the Fugitive Mind, which literally we haven't played since the World Needs a Hero tour when Jimmy and Al were in the band.
Hey, we got a little guest, man. We got to bring somebody in here. So, a little surprise. There he is.
What's up, fans? It took me forever to figure this out.
Say hello to our friend Rich Post.
Hey, what's up, Rich?
It's good to see you. I'm great. How about you?
So, Rich has a. Now we know where your son got his good looks. By the way,
it's so funny because David, a long time ago, David said he could be brothers. I was like, look, we kind of look like we could be related.
Yeah. That's right. Man, this is such an honor to be here.
Man, it's great to so ladies and gentlemen. So Rich he has a son who has a little recording career. He's doing pretty good lately.
Yeah, you might have.
His name is Post Malone. Where are you at, by the way? Are you in Texas or Utah, or where are you?
Yeah, we're in Utah, hanging out in the compound.
Nice.
It is loud as fuck. You guys are having a party. You guys are like Posty's dressing room over there.
I don't know if there's a bunch of producers and guys here. He's working on his new album, so I told him to be quiet for some more important things like this, but it doesn't seem to listen.
Where's Joe? Hello.
Joe, I think, is still out west in California, but we got Louis Bell, Billy Walsh, Brian Lee, all here working on the new stuff. So
nice.
Louis Bell, wasn't he one of the producers on Over Now?
He certainly was. Yes. Yeah. So and that's a nice crossover. What you say, because I think you guys killed that. Like the first time I heard it, I was blown away because I know I fangirled with Thom for quite a bit, but I've been a fan of you guys forever. Like I bought your first album just to see how crazy these guys had to be to end up where they were, and I was not disappointed in the least.
Nice, man. Well, thank you. It's so funny because we were just literally talking about you in particular, you and your son down in Nashville. When we were down there, we were signing some albums and stuff. I don't know if hopefully I'm not blowing the surprise, but we were signing some albums, and then you and I started chatting on Twitter real quick, and you were very kind, and I was literally just finishing up, recording the Megadeth record, my parts on it, and so to see you tonight is wonderful. It's funny. I was just down at the Platinum Underground, which is John Aquilino's studio, where Joe was at a month ago. He was working on the Nirvana tracks that you guys did it there at the house. And
I heard that. I heard the first practice like twice with Travis and the two, Nick the guitarist and Brian Lee the bassist. They're both here tonight, and they're the ones making all that noise. So it's a pretty tight-knit group of guys. They work together. Hopefully we'll have 30 years of fruitful longevity like you have,
Yes. Well, I was just telling you, I was just telling you, it was literally 37 years ago last week that me and Dave met in LA. He was probably 6 weeks out of Metallica, coming in hot, and I met him, and then we literally this week started Megadeth, 37 years ago. Started playing together, and who knows? I guess if you don't quit, and you don't break up, you got a chance of lasting 37 years.
I always figure that if icons like you are covering my son's music, he'll be around for a little while.
No, he ain't going anywhere, man. He's such a. I say this all the time. Like, you know what? I hate talking about it because it's like I don't want to look like, I'm just trying to like milk it. But I'm such a fan of Posties, and I mean that's why we did Over Now. It was just such a cool song, and I heard it, and I'm like, this needs to be a fucking metal song. You know what I mean? It's just that attitude. It's like.
So you guys have been to live shows, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So you hear what he does at the end of that, like at the end of Over Now, he does turn it into sort of a screamo kind of thing with the screams at the end, which I've always liked. And I don't know if you know his roots are, but he was in a crabcore band back in the day, which was really kind of brutal. But It grew into some other things, and I have an appreciation for all kinds of music, no matter how it hits me. But it's wonderful. So
it's funny. You and I are probably about the same age, right? I'm 55. We're probably
I'm
same
54.
age. 54. Yeah. Nice. So we're basically grew up same class. I'm class of 83 or class of 84, probably 84. Nice.
Yeah,
the year a good Van Halen album came out, by the way, 1984. I mean, dude, think about the shit that was coming out when you and me were like at keg parties in high school. I mean, I remember like when Scorpions Blackout came out,
right?
Iron Maiden Run to the Hills. I guess Sabbath was already out, but like Def Leppard High and Dry. Just great. And I guess for you, Kill 'Em All had come out. Maiden Peace of Mind was already out. So, yeah, we grew up in good years, man. Good stuff.
My first concert was AC/DC Back in Black when I was 14, so it's been going on for a long time with it. And I tend always to go back to the metal roots, but I'm a huge fan of what you've done. And, of course, Dickinson with Iron Maiden. I love those guys.
Yeah.
And Eddie Van Halen did things for music that who could have figured that back then,
Oh my gosh, I know. And hey, by the way, when you saw Back in Black, was Blackfoot opening for him?
No, I had Y&T.
Y&T. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I'd seen Blackfoot, which is Ricky Medlock, and then years later, me and Marty Friedman, we would like geek out with Ricky. We'd see Ricky out on tour with like Leonard Skinner, and we'd fanboy on him over Blackfoot. And he always took a special liking to me and Marty, not because he was in Skinner, but because we liked Blackfoot, And and remember Brownsville Station, right? Brownsville Station, right? And Cub Coda, and I remember. Like who played harmonica on "Smoke It in the Boys' Room" for Motley? Was it Cub Coda or his dad or somebody?
I thought it was his dad. I'm not.
I think it's his dad.
I remember. I dressed up. I was in college at the time, and we dressed up as Motley Crue and air banded to "Smoking in the Boys' Room" back in the day. So it's funny how things go.
It's funny.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. My apologies.
I just saying my wife worked for Motley Crue from the very beginning. She took a job for working for Doc McGee. She was his first employee, and him and Doug Thaler. And as you saw in the movie, Doug kind of got scrubbed out of it a little bit. But
I actually just watched the movie again last night. Funny, I needed inspiration to write this record. Like literally, we were talking about Motley Crue, so I watched The Dirt.
I love The Dirt. I thought The Dirt was good. I thought it was good. It's funny. When we did our stream a couple weeks ago, we had Steven Adler on here, and I went over to see Steven. Guns had just got done playing on the Girls tour, and so Motley and Guns, were pretty tight, and they were partying and hanging out. And that was the night I went up there, and Steven had broken his arm. And so Fred Curry from Cinderella was filling in to play drums for him at a couple shows up in Pasadena. And Slash and Nikki come barging in our room looking for some harder stuff than just beer and pot. And then they went next door, and that was the night he died. And it was heavy stuff, man. I remember Fred Curry looking at me just going, dude, you got a car? Get me the fuck out of here. Like, I don't need this shit. I'm just here. I'm just filling in, And so it was funny with Adler. Adler's such a sweet, lovely guy. And we're just telling all these stories of just fun days back then,
They were different times, sure.
Yeah. Of course, nobody died, so we all lived to tell about it,
Well, they died, but they came back.
They came back. That's how metal they are. Yeah.
Dude, I tell you what, I can't wait until this fucking Chris Poland book is done and out. Like, the real crazy Megadeth, like the Megadeth story is crazier than anybody ever imagined. I mean, it really, like, I always knew it was crazy. I mean, you're my fucking best friend. I've heard the stories, but hearing it from Chris and how much crazier it really was. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't know that people now seeing some of the bands and artists, in this instance, Metallica, understand just quite what it was like back then and what it took for you guys to kind of go out on your own and start Megadeth after the whole Metallica thing. And I don't even know that people understand everything Metallica went through back in those days, when they were making Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All, and some of the things that we cut our teeth on. At least I did. You were doing it before I did, but
yeah. Well, I grew up in a good family, like a nice Lutheran farming family in Minnesota, and I got the rock and roll bug, when I was on the school bus listening to the radio, and that's what I got into, like Styx and Kiss and whatever else was on the Foreigner, Head East, all that stuff was on the radio, and then I picked up the bass. I started gigging around the Midwest. And I moved to L.A. literally like 5 days after I graduated high school in 1983. So I moved to L.A. and I meet Dave. And as soon as I met Dave, I went, all right, this guy's the real deal. Like, he's fucking dangerous. Like, this is going to be freaking scary. But I'm in. You know what I mean? I pushed all my chips. I'm in. Let's go. Black or red. Hopefully it doesn't come up green. Let's go. And we went. We've been on the journey, and it's. And you're right, man. I mean, it's. I remember meeting James and Lars down at the Troubadour, probably a month after, maybe a month or two after I'd met Dave. And obviously it was very tense between them because they hadn't seen each other since Dave had been let go from Metallica, and they were. I mean, I've never had a problem with Metallica. I've loved those guys and been a fan myself, and. They're always been very gracious to me, but yeah, it's, that was the year I moved to LA. I mean, just cocaine was on the cover of Time magazine. I mean, that was what was going on in Hollywood, was cocaine. It's full on, so they didn't have stuff like that in Minnesota where I grew up on the farm, but yeah, to land there and just be right in the, Motley just took off, Rat got signed. I remember going to the Troubadour the night that Wasp had played their last, LA show because they just signed to Capitol Records and they were taking off, and it was just, man, it was fun, man. Those were fun times, man. The Strip was just jamming and just super cool, man.
Wasn't that like the days with Faster Pussycat and LA Guns and those guys are on the same time too?
That even came a little bit later. That came a little later. I kind of by like 80. Well, look, 80, Ricky Rackman, 88. Ricky Rackman and Tammy started like the Cat House. When that was the bomb. That was the cool place to go. In fact, I remember the first night I met Slash. They obviously had a buzz around town and that they were working on their. Maybe Appetite had just come out, actually. I guess it had been. Just come out. I remember I first met him, and he came up to me, and he goes, man, Chris Poland, what a great guitar player. And I had great respect for Slash because he Chris played like Jeff Beck or John McLaughlin, you know what I mean? Like something really out of genre for metal. And, Slash, I could tell, I was like, wow, okay, this guy's got some real musical sense about him, that he would key in on that, So, but yeah, those were. It's funny when I met Post. I was in Sweden. Me and Frank Bello from Anthrax. We have a little band called Altitudes and Attitude, and Slash was kind enough to take us on tour with him, beginning of 2019. And I stayed behind. It was ironic. I stayed behind so I could pick up my 29-year sober chip, right? Because I've been clean, since right before Rest in Peace. And I noticed Post was playing, so we texted and went over to the show and caught most of the show. It was killer. It was great. Globe, and then went back and it's funny. Post was playing beer pong, and it was funny. I said, "Hey, you want a beer?" I said, ironically, I just picked up my 29-year celebration. He goes, "Oh my God, I'm sorry." I said, "Don't worry, dude. It's rock and roll. It's all good." And But it was funny that they were playing beer pong. And just today, when I went on YouTube, I went on to look at something, and they were showing this app where, like, you can be throwing a beer like a ping pong, so it looks like it's coming, and then someone's like right above just dropping the dropping.
Yeah,
It's on YouTube. It's an advertisement.
I will tell you this: Post Malone, your son is a beer pong fucking champion, man.
He's the champ, dude. He's the guy.
Yeah.
When I went to the show in Chicago, and I still feel bad because I actually stepped on his foot and he was barefoot.
Sorry, Post. He's probably barefoot right now. I don't
know. Oh man, I tell you what, we all get to live a blessed life, man. It's just super cool, man. It's so where did you guys? I mean, like when Post was growing up, and where did you live? You guys are from Texas, right? From like.
Well, originally, Austin was born in Syracuse, New York.
Okay.
And I took a job with the Cowboys when he was 9, and we moved to Dallas, and I worked for 14 seasons as the concession manager for the Cowboys. And in that time, he sort of took his own. It's interesting. You said 5 days after you graduated in P3. It wasn't quite 5 days, but 3 months after he graduated in 2013, 30 years later, he came to us and said, "I'm moving to California with his friend Jason," and that was really it. He moved to California with some friends, and he gave up his room to make a sound studio. There's a bunch of musicians in there living in the house, and he was sleeping in a closet. Like a walk-in closet. It wasn't like a coat closet. But
yeah.
And then, it's those things. You guys know as well as I do. There's so much talent out there. It doesn't matter what genre it is. Yeah. But there are people out there that are just so talented. And sometimes it's just right place, right time.
Yeah.
However it goes. Austin's been fortunate the last 5 years. Yeah. Hopefully we get another 35 years. Or he does. I say we. But I'm just so it's been so organic, really. It's just one of those things that
Well, I tell you what, man, it's really cool that you two hang like that. My dad was really a businessman. He wanted to leave the farm because our farm's been in our family since the ELLEFSONs moved over from Norway in the late 1800s, and they bought the farm. So the farm's been growing now; it's several thousand acres, and it's grain farm. And when I was really young, he had a heart attack, so he sold off all the cattle and everything. So I was basically raised on the grain farm, And my dad, when he saw me getting into rock and roll, he hated rock and roll. Like it was not his thing. He's just different genre. But he saw that I had something and I was keyed on it. And my older brother took over the farm, so he was cool with me going off to Hollywood and go rock the nations, But I remember I got him some tickets to go see Metallica because he wanted to understand the music, and not really the music, but the business, And he'd buy Billboard magazine, so when Megadeth records come out, he'd be reading the charts and I remember when I brought Dave back to meet my family. We had just recorded the Peace Sells album, and we were going back to New York. The guy that signed Metallica, Michael Alago, who signed Metallica to Elektra, was courting us, and we were getting a new manager. And so we went back there, and I remember, sitting there on the farm, my dad, Dave grew up in a very different situation in Southern California. So to bring him back to, the wholesomeness of the farm and, my dad, getting in Dave's face, like, when are you going to stop swearing? Professional entertainers don't swear. Be nicer to your fans. When are you going to write some more mainstream songs? Like just grilling Dave. And Dave's
did your dad love Risk?
My dad was gone. My dad died in '94, so he missed Risk. But it was funny. And it's funny. I remember when on Countdown to Extinction, that was our real big breakthrough, and we were headlining. Did a big arena tour, and we were playing Long Beach Arena, and it was sold out on New Year's Eve. And my dad came. They flew out to the show, and they got to see it. And he was kind of like, "Okay, all right, you boys are finally growing up now, finally getting it together." So it's dads and their sons, man. So I appreciate that. My dad, he tried as hard as he could. So I appreciate you being there for your boy, man. It's cool.
What are you going to do? You got to support your kids. They have their dream, you had yours, and who are you to tell them not to have theirs? So.
And it's so crazy too. Like a month ago, out of nowhere, my daughter Riley goes, "Dad, I recorded some raps. Will you listen?" And she sent me these 2 dope fucking tracks, and one of them was about me. And it's like literally, I'm like, "How did you do this?" She's like, I recorded this on the iPad in my closet. And she like she got these super dope beats and like just, I mean, I was blown the fuck away. I had no idea she could do it. I had no idea and it was crazy. Kids
I think
awesome.
It's like, I know.
Go ahead, David. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying we can't make records for under $250,000, and your daughter's in there ripping beats in the freaking closet on her iPad.
I think that's one of the things though about modern music, and the death. Everyone talks about the death of record stores and where you would buy actual copies of music, but it's totally opened up a new market to streaming. Not that I'm for or against one or the other, but anybody with platforms like DatPiff or SoundCloud and all these places, anybody really with like your daughter, Thom, can put something up there, and there's just people out there that can listen to it, share it.
There's people that exclusively listen, and that's where she put them. She sent me SoundCloud link. That's where people like. There's artists that get huge. So didn't Posty kind of start out on YouTube? Wasn't it kind of he did White Iverson, and that just kind of blew up?
Well, that was actually White Iverson was the SoundCloud explosion. He put up a couple songs called "That's It" and "What's Up" and a couple of other songs, and I've always been shilling for my kid. Make everybody at work listen to. I'm like, hey, Austin did this new song, and so it might get 500, 400, 600 views, and I'd be like, 500 views, 500 people listen to my kid, and then White Iverson came out with the help of Wiz Khalifa and some other folks, and some folks in Dallas, a guy named Brick Mason, and but anyways, they tweeted it out. Next thing you know, an hour later, it's got 1,000 views. And I said to everyone, I'm like, would it be great if we got to 5,000 views? And I woke up the next morning, it's at 100,000. And then it's been a sprint to keep up with it for the last 5 years because he was opening for Fetty Wap and then Bieber, and I can't keep up with it. I'm holding slow.
So cool, man.
And now our cover of him is getting close to 1 million views on Facebook.
Well, I'm hoping that he opens up for you guys someday, and then I'll know he really made it.
Well, it's so funny too because everybody asks like, did Posty hear? I always see the comments on YouTube. Never like, God, I wonder if Posty heard this. I wonder if he likes it. Like, first off, I sent it to him the day it was done, and he was like, "Dude, this is fucking epic." Which to me, I was with my kid at Walgreens, and I started screaming. And like to me, that was the thing. I don't give a fuck what anybody else thought, but I wanted Posty to love it. And when he told me he did, and then when you told me you liked it, to me that was like, I don't care if anybody likes it. Like that's it. You know what I mean? That was.
I can't tell you how excited I was when I saw it the first time on Twitter. I saw it there, and I listened to it, and then I went to iTunes and I listened to it, and then I bought it, and I just love it. And like I said, I've been a fan forever, so it might not be fair to say how good it is. I love the song. I like the collab. You guys need to do something together, because she's got that whole rock and roll thing going. Travis Barker did the Nirvana thing. He's two songs with Ozzy, and awesome. Tommy Lee played drums for a song on Beer Bongs and Bentleys.
He played drums on Over Now. He played drums on Over Now.
I was thinking other side. That's how bad I am, but it's just cool stuff, and he's got a so far so good so what tattoo.
I know.
I love that. That's
totally
right
how we met. That's how we met.
Yeah. You're welcome, by the way.
I know. When I saw that, and when you were texting me last week, I go, man, good man. He raised him well. Good job. So it's awesome. Well, we got the let's see, where is it? Where's my big four? Yeah, kind of can see it.
That was when I knew
my shit around my big four.
One night in the middle of the night, Posty texted me. And he's like, this is what I'm watching right now. And it was the YouTube video of the Big Four finale with everybody doing Am I Evil? And that's when I'm like, I love this fucking guy. That was when, and we met him. We met him like, we met him like 2 weeks before Beer Bongs and Bentleys came out. So he was big, but he wasn't like now, we just kind of met him at the right time. Like literally Stoney was still out. And that's when we met and kind of started talking. And then like literally a month later, Beer Bongs came out and he just was everywhere. Rockstar blew up, and then Psycho blew up, and and Better Now blew up, and now he's fucking Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Right. Crazy.
He would always tell me from the road who he got to meet, and I'd always get jealous most of the time because he met you guys, and he met the guys from it. I got one of Lars's drumsticks, and and so I got to meet Dave Grohl, which was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always trying to keep up, so I think I'm cool enough for you guys.
Nice, yes. And you know what? My son just finished his MBA, right? So he took a sports management program. So he got like a degree in finance and sports management. So his whole thing is he wants to be a sports agent. That's his whole thing. So maybe I'll hit you up for a little inroad so he can work for the Cowboys.
I can do this for you. You
know how it is with our kids, right? I'm like, it's you know, it's just I love it. Like he's filling out some resume for a job, and he basically has to track. He has to do analytics for a game, and he was telling me about it the other night. I'm like, dude, like I mean, that's the kind of stuff we would do in music. Like we'd understand that level, scope, and deep into something. I mean, he's talking about like basically it's an interview for like, you know, for scouting for a team. I'm just like, God dang, man, that's like a whole other level of intensity that I don't understand. Because I grew up, kind of a sports fan, but not like a fan. Like I was a fan of music, not so much sports, you know. So, wow. Well, you got to work with the Cowboys, dude. That was, I mean, as a guy growing up in Minnesota, man, Tarkington, and playing the Cowboys. Oh my God, and we'd always lose, playing.
Well, we were talking about that earlier because I live in Green Bay. I live like 5 minutes from Lambeau Field, so it's like, and that was one of the first things Posty said to me was, I mean, when I was from Green Bay, it's like, "Are you a Packers fan?" It was funny. It's like the instant animosity.
Because that's all we do is rub the blue and silver.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I remember Franco Harris, and like playing against the Steelers. Fucking we'd have these big, because it's January in Minnesota, so it's snowing out, blizzards. We'd have these big card parties and watch the game, and everybody's all excited. Yeah, the Vikes went to the Super Bowl, and then we'd always fucking lose, So it's
like Wilbur Marshall and some of those Fans Targets and some of those guys that just play up there in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I always like my Drew Pearson catch against you, and then of course it was the Tony Dorsett 99-yard run, and then win games.
Yes,
I'll tell you that was my Cowboys, man. When I was a kid, I was a huge OG Cowboys fan. That was untouchable dynasty then, man. Jesus.
I was so desperate for some sports. Recently, I watched the Cornhole Championships on ESPN.
Do you know what I love? Have you ever watched the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest on ESPN?
Yeah.
It's on like ESPN 4. Dude, the best part of it is the announcers, because they talk about it like it's a real sport. They're like, God, look at that English he's using. Like this is one of the finest athletes in the world today. I mean, he's really he takes competitive eating to a new level, and they're like, oh, it's the funniest fucking thing in the world.
Jesus, and it's funny. We made some hot dogs last week, actually for Roman's his graduation.
Did you dip them in water and shove them down your gullet?
No, we've grilled them, and it's like they've been sitting. We've had like hot dog. I'm like, I come good with like a hot dog a month, and I've eaten like one like every 3 days. I mean, all right, throw these fucking things out. This is ridiculous. It's like I can't eat any more hot dogs. I'm done. And I'm a Midwest guy. I'm a meat eater. I eat burgers.
I don't really want to work out there, but
I'm out, man.
When's the last time you had a hot dog, Rick?
Me? For lunch. I have this place J-Dogs down the street. I can't stay away.
Good.
Nice. So is it pretty chill up there? I mean, you guys, because here in Arizona, we opened up about a month ago.
How the hell did you guys end up in Utah? Where did that come from?
I think it was Austin that came out here first, and he was just kind of like some of the culture as far as things he liked to do, and gets land out in the middle. Like, you can't find better scenery the way it is out here. The mountains are like you say, meet me by the mountain. You don't know where, because it's in the valley of all the mountains. So it's and so he ended up here, and there was some projects and things that he had working on. So he asked if I wanted to come out and help for a while. So here we are. As far as the whole shutdown, now the city shut down hard for a little while, but it never shut down like New York or California or even Michigan. I haven't really changed. I joke with people that I'm a Corona cowboy, and I'm just going about life the way it should be, and respecting other people's boundaries. But I didn't want to change much about what I was doing to try and live my life and enjoy what I was doing. I really work by myself most of the time, so it's not like I'm going to catch a lot from all the other coworkers or anything like that. So
yeah.
I know one of the things that I keep hearing, and in doing what I was doing with the Cowboys, I worked for a company that also managed. We had a lot of the amphitheaters that Live Nation has, so USANA and Hollywood out. So I traveled a lot for those, and it'll be interesting the dynamic that happens with music after this, because
it's unreal.
I think it can be done. It's just going to take some changes, like getting rid of general admission, maybe giving everybody 2 admissions for 1 ticket, 1 seat for 2 admissions, and so if the 3 of us went to see a show, we have 6 seats, and then the people next to us would have 6 seats, and there's distance between and that kind of thing. So I think it can be done the more that people get comfortable with it.
I think that's so hard, though. The hard thing with that is the economics of those shows. It's like most of those shows, they need to sell out. So doing it at half capacity is going to kind of fuck the money. That's what's so hard. Like, they're going to have to go to bigger arenas to do half capacity, but it's going to be
or play 2 nights. I know that doesn't necessarily work, but do 2 nights rather than 1 in some venues or some parts of where you're going.
It's like having the middle seat open on the airplane, right? Like one's sitting in Southwest Airlines, you'll have the middle seat open. Awesome.
But people are still flying, and that's even worse. You're in a tin can, 10,000 feet in the air.
I know. Well, it's funny. We're literally supposed to start the Megadeth Lamb of God, the Metal Tour of the Year with Megadeth, Lamb of God, Trivia, and Flames tonight. It was supposed to start tonight over in, I think, South Carolina or something, or North Carolina, and then go straight up, right into New York and Jones Beach and all that stuff. And so obviously, it's postponed until next year. But I remember Randy Blythe, he had a comment. I read an interview that he put out a couple weeks ago. He goes, Randy, it is nice Southern drawl. He goes, man, they're going to tell those kids not to, to social distance. But as soon as that first chord hits, man, there's going to be fucking chaos and mosh pits. And, and he's right with metal. Are you kidding? It's like everybody just like, freaking mosh pits. There's no social distancing in a metal show.
No, none whatsoever.
Yeah.
I had tickets to the show here in Salt Lake. So,
yeah.
You need to make the July date is all I'm telling you.
Well, maybe we can come up and cut some vocals at the studio or something. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Dave can track some guitars up there.
Well, the studio should be done here by then, so that would be great.
Nice.
Yeah. So it'll be a professional grade studio here on the property that you guys could come to the next album and
there you go.
I'll come track some vocals there. We're just talking. We're doing this new record is going to be so dope. I'm so excited. I'll send you some of the rough so you can hear it. You're in the family now. You're fucked.
Yeah, it is.
I look at it as being privileged, not fucked, but I'll take it.
It's all good. Yeah, it's all, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for joining us. This is great, man. You're welcome here anytime, and you're like Thom said, you're part of the family, man. And
my pleasure.
Yeah.
Did you get a copy of our book?
No, I haven't yet. No.
Austin has one somewhere. Ask him. But if it made it home.
I try to steal things from him, and he notices, so he takes it back. I'm surprised I still have.
I sent a couple home with Joe. I sent and some coffee, some ELLEFSON coffee. So we'll get Thom will get an address from you. I got it. I'm
going to
send you a package of some ELLEFSON coffee, and we'll send you up some.
I appreciate it. If there's anything I can do for you guys, you got to let me know.
Yeah, all good, man. Thank you. Well, listen, say hey to the guys, and dude, it's really nice to meet you. This is a wonderful surprise, man. Thank you and Thom for doing this. This is really great. So,
and thank you for all the support. Tell Austin we love him, and we'll talk soon.
I don't see him out right now. All right, call him over.
Where is he? Go get him. Go get him and tell him to come say hi. God damn it.
Hey, Jay, where's Austin? Knock on the door. Tell him that Dave ELLEFSON. Go knock on the. Huh?
Yeah. We're not leaving until we say hi.
We'll come say hi. We're gonna go see. You know how how kids can be.
I know. We'll see it. See if he wants to come say hi to us.
He's probably gaming.
Probably. When he left the house, I told him you could get any tattoos you want except from your wrist forward and your neck up. And I should have just. Those were the first places he got him. So.
But look, he single-handedly made face tattoos fucking trendy. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I like him, we'll see how he looks when he's 54.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm
Yeah,
45
they all look
and I'm
different.
rocking. I'm good. I'm 45. I look all right with my tattoos. I
That's
think it
funny.
look good.
Hey, what was
I don't. Go
what
ahead.
was what's the film that he was in? He was in prison, right?
Spencer Confidential.
Spencer Confidential.
I just watched it. Yeah, I just watched it on Netflix like a month or so ago. It's fucking cool,
He
man.
needed a bigger part. I'm going to talk to Mark Wahlberg about that for the next one.
Yeah. Wahlberg's cool, man, isn't he? He's I remember when we did the Rockstar movie, right? So Megadeth was one of the fluff bands. Like they advertised us on the radio to help draw the people in at the sports arena to get everybody there to film it. And and I remember when Dave we were standing back there talking to him right before he was going to go up and shoot a scene. And Dave said something to him, but he was making some Dirk Diggler comment to him like, I'm a star. And Mark's going, no, you're the star. And he goes, no, I'm a star. And Mark's like, no, you're the star. And he goes, and Dave was like, no, like in Boogie Nights, I'm a star. Classic.
That was a good. I've watched that movie a bunch. I was telling Thom earlier that Shocker came on the TV the other day. I sat and watched that just for a little No More Mr. Nice Guy. But is he coming? So my wife just went. My wife just went back and knocked on his door, and they say he's coming.
It's nice, awesome, good.
I was just telling him the story before about how we reconnected through Shocker, and the thing I did for I did a little document. It's in the book actually.
What's up, party people?
What's happening, buddy? How are you? What's going on, man? How are you?
Well, holy shit! How are you?
Hope we didn't wake you up. How are you, buddy? What's going on?
No,
man?
I'm fantastic. What's going on with you?
Nice. Nah, we're just doing a little live stream thing here, and your dad was nice enough to come on. It's funny. I was just in Nashville last week. I was with Dave. We were just cutting drums and bass on the new Megadeth record, and your dad and I were just chatting a little bit on Twitter. So it was nice to.
I know whenever you followed him, he was so excited. So.
Yeah. And we got some, I know you talked to management about some records and stuff, I think, right? So.
Well, let's fucking party. Hey, know I'm ready to rock and roll. I know. Hey, you've probably been texting me, but I got a new phone number.
Oh, did you?
So,
okay.
Yeah, I got to give you all my new shit afterwards.
Please. Nice, thank you. Well, I said when Joe was down here in Phoenix, working at the studio here, I sent back some coffee and a couple of books and some stuff for you. I don't know if you're a coffee drinker, you're probably not, but
no, but I'll give it a try if it's I'll give it a go.
You can put whatever else in it you want, Just
you can put some Bud Light in it.
Yeah, exactly. So what are you working? It's funny because Joe was down here. He was working on your Nirvana stuff, and it's funny. It was right. He was kind of like tweaking up your stuff to send it off to get mixed, and it was right as we were finishing the mix on Over Now, and so he put his ears on it for us. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, please interrupt.
Yeah, thank you.
We actually, I don't know if your dad told you, so we're actually doing a vinyl single of Over Now, and Randy Burns, who produced Peace Sells, is doing a remix for the B-side, which is
fuck yeah,
the coolest.
That sounds awesome.
Then I'll send it to you. It's like all just this total rock mix. It's so dope.
Let me do some sweet picking on the.
Please.
Yes, there's no shot in hell.
What are you working on, man? Is that your compound? I know you guys are finishing the studio and stuff there, right? You're kind of getting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of fucking, hanging out, drinking beer and making music whenever the mood strikes. But
yeah, nice.
As of lately, more drinking than working, but that's fun to figure out.
That happens during a pandemic.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, most definitely.
So do you have how big is your beer pong setup at your house? Because I know, do you have like a whole wing dedicated to beer pong?
I would like one, but I mean,
come on, Dad, get on that.
I tell him get his ass to work.
I will.
But no, I'm more of a bare bones guy. I just like playing on those folded. The gray plastic tables. So I just like it's simple to set up, easy to transport. You never know where the night will take you. But that's how I prefer it. But
I was telling your dad like earlier. I logged on today to check it on YouTube, and they've got that. There's like an app or something for the beer pong thing. Right where it's showing like somebody like throwing the thing from across the room. But then someone just dropping the ping pong ball right down into the beer. Oh, yeah. Right. It's fucking
it would never work. Well, it might work. Everybody no one is vigilant enough. I like to play. There's defense and offense, so you got to make sure nobody cheats here or nothing.
Yeah. That's great, man. That's great. Hey, so you're writing some tunes right now? You don't have to tell us what all you're up to because you're obviously busy doing a lot of stuff, But hey, show everybody you're so far so good. So what?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Just asking. There you go, man. It's fucking so awesome. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, no, thank you.
That's awesome.
I don't know if I can fucking get it in there, but hell yeah.
There it is.
That's fucking one of my favorites, and
yeah,
I'm a big fan, so you guys know that.
There's a lot of piss and vinegar on that album. In fact, I remember that picture on the back of the record. We did a little run. The album hadn't quite come out yet. We did a little run up and down the West Coast, and we were playing up at the Tacoma Dome when they took those pictures. And I remember I was a little strung out on some other stuff at the time, and I remember I was detoxing, so I was drinking a ton of like White Russians. Me and our drummer Chuck used to drink White Russians. So all the piss and vinegar you see in the photo on the back of that album, I'm just like,
fuck yeah.
That's what was going on that album. So
that's great music gets made that way. So
it does. It does.
I hate to say most of the great music got that way.
Well, it's funny, we're getting this year's 30 years of Rust in Peace. Rust in Peace came out in September, and we wrote that in just the darkest days. All the stuff, and rehabs and methadone clinics, and all the great rock and roll stuff, and then got sobered up and went and recorded it. So it's like again, just like clear head, but still like just raw. I remember I was like 3 weeks clean recording that record. It was just like, me and Men's would go bike riding, mountain bike riding and stuff.
Oh, didn't Nikki Sixx like come to the rehab when you were in rehab or something?
He did, So Nikki, I was saying to your dad, so like Stephen funny, Motley, Guns N' Roses, and Megadeth, like three stylistically different bands, but lifestyle the same. You're right.
Yeah.
And Guns had been out with Motley on the Girls tour, so they were good buddies. And me and Stephen Adler were pretty good buddies. So he invited me up to the Franklin Plaza to go hang out with him. And he broke his arm, so Fred Curry was sitting in playing. And a little while later, Nicky and Slash come marching in the room, looking for the looking heavier than booze.
Sure.
And then he went next door, and then that's the night that he died, and then 9 months later, I'm in rehab, and Nikki, Doc McGee was managing us at the time, so they brought Nikki. Nikki was kind enough to come over to the treatment center and see me and Dave, and dude, he looked like $1 million. He had just finished doing the demos for Dr. Feelgood, and he pulls up in his Lambo, and he's looking good. It's like, fuck, dude. You're like on the ball, man, and so it was good.
It's hot. I'm happy to see everybody happy and healthy now. It's good to have those stories and not live the stories anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you do have to live. You do have to live the story. You do have to live the story.
Whatever you're into, man. Just as long as I guess it's just growing every day, and figuring shit out, because everybody's got to do it somewhere, somehow,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I always say, man, again, it's so funny because now we did Over Now, and people always ask me about you in interviews and shit.
Sure.
And again, I'm like, dude, no one on earth, as far as I'm concerned, has their shit together more than you, is more talented. I mean, look, dude, you're for being as young and having as much success as you are, I mean, it blows my fucking mind. I was telling your dad that earlier. I'm just, your shit's so together and you're so on top of it, and it's awesome, man. It's fucking awesome.
Thank you very, very much, sir. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for giving us a good song to cover, man. That was fun. That was cool.
Yeah, that's no problem at all. Well, we got to make our own now.
Yes. Hey, come on. Yeah, we've got the fucking, believe me, the marshals are up. We're ready to go.
Yeah, I'll bring the 58 Les Paul and see what I can do with that.
You're a good
fucking epic, man.
I bet, dude. Fucking Gibson through a Marshall. Come on, man. I mean, it's just
crazy.
That's and you're a good player, man. Did you grow up playing guitar? I mean, was that kind of your initial thing, or?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I fucking as much as a lot of people had friends, I didn't have many of them. So I kind of just sat in my room and just played what I can. I've been playing probably 12 years now. And, and that's why I make the joke about sweet picking is because you can either do it or you play blues. And, and that's I'm more of a blues guy, but I can get down on a couple riffs with y'all, man. I like to play whatever, man. Just fuck around.
I've heard you play. I've heard you play, man. You can play.
Thank you, sir.
That Nirvana shit was fucking. You killed that shit, dude.
Thank you.
And
I got power chords down.
And being in Nashville, it's always intimidating. Going. I remember we made a Cryptic Writings, his first Megadeth record we made in Nashville, and Dan Huff was producing. I don't know if you ever heard that album that he had. He had a band called Giant. And, those guys, they were like Toto. They were like all LA session guys, and they put a band together. And it was just great. I mean, Dan was, like kind of an Eddie Van Halen guy, just an incredible player, studio guy. And then he moved to Nashville. So he produced Cryptic Writings for us. And it's like, there's, everybody in Nashville, if you're making a living in Nashville, you can play. There's no messing around. So it's always kind of intimidating going there, even though, like you would do, you go there as your own little bubble, your own little team, and you make your own records. But there is something in the air in Nashville, man. It's just like you're around everybody there. They know how to record. They know how to engineer. They're just the top of the heap, man.
There's a lot of smart, talented people playing music, and it's just, I get blown away even going to, I haven't been so much as being on tour and such, but I really enjoy just going out and getting slammed and watching any of the bands play because they're all so damn good. Yeah, it's incredible. I would love to go fuck around, even like fucking do some 808s and fucking lap steel or something, some pedal steel, and just fucking make something super cool. But
So what are your favorite metal bands? Like what I know you're into a lot of different shit. What are your favorite metal bands?
I say y'all. I mean, Megadeth's got to be the best. For me, I love Megadeth. I love Metallica. I love fuck, man, so much shit.
And you grew up around you were in Pantera country.
Yeah, I love Pantera. I got to meet Dave or Phil. Sorry. There's Dave.
Yeah.
Too many Daves.
The other Dave.
The other Dave named Phil. I got to meet him backstage at a show, and he was a cool ass dude, and he talked like this. Yeah. I'm like, dude, it's gotta hurt to talk, but he's still fucking got it. So
you know what he does? He always comes up to me and pinches my nuts when he sees me. I'm like, fuck, dude, come on, that hurts. Like he'll go, you know what, Junior? Because he calls me, Junior. You got a good sense of humor, bro. Yeah, I'm like, well, thanks for pinching my nuts, bro. That wasn't too fucking funny.
One of the greatest nights of my life. I was in Dallas I was speaking on a panel at some music industry convention, and Vinny ended up there, and we all went to the clubhouse. And if you go to the clubhouse with Vinny, the clubhouse was their strip club in Dallas.
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah. And if you go there with Vinny, you're like royalty, man. And that was one of the. Those Vinny and Dime were so great and so cool and so hospitable and just like the greatest Southern good old boys. Like they were the coolest dudes, man. They were just the fucking greatest.
Yeah, no, very sweet dude. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no. We when right after So Far So Good So What, when we were writing Rust in Peace, we were down to just me and Dave, and Chuck Beeler was playing drums with us, but it was kind of shaky, because we were all, doing too many drugs and crazy shit. Sure. But we called Dime because I'd seen Pantera play at a club in Dallas, and fuck those guys. Those guys could drink a lot and still sounded amazing. Yeah. And they invited me up to play Peace Sells with them, which I did, and they were just great. And so we just kind of remained friends. So I told Dave, I said, there's, Diamond Daryl, as he was known back then, before he was Dimebag. He was on the cover of a lot of the magazines, and they were kind of a regional, band around Texas. And he said, "There's this guy Diamond Daryl I met, and he's really good, and maybe we should call him." So we called him to join Megadeth, and he said, he goes, "Man, thank you, Dad. That's real nice of you. But with me comes my brother. We come as a team." And it's like, shit. Well, we have a drummer, so it didn't work, and then of course they go and they put out Cowboys from Hell, and they become superstars in their own. So it's funny how things aren't meant to happen in a certain way, just because it just I mean, there would have been no more Pantera after that.
Well, that's the whole fucking thing too. I tried out for a metal band in high school, and I didn't make it. My string broke in the audition. So then, I mean, I could have been, touring, like, because they were going on tour. They went to another school, so I could have been touring like 17 and then going on 18 and stuff. But it just didn't work. So then, I was like, well, fuck, I gotta fucking do it.
Now you'll do this, yeah. You know what's funny? Well, do you know Zed? Are you friends?
Yeah,
with him
yeah.
So my daughter, really into that kind of music, and obviously into you and everything. She's 21. And so we went. I took her down to the Zed show, and I like Zed. Out of a lot of the kind of EDM stuff of that style, the electronic stuff, I really he's a great writer, and just always good collaborations with good singers and stuff. And so I went down there and I met his brother and talked to Zed for a little bit, and he was telling me like, because they're from like the Czech Republic or something, right, or Germany or from somewhere way over there, right?
Somewhere fun,
yeah, somewhere. And he said, he goes, yeah, me and my brother we had a metal band, and he points out to the house, which he just sold out. And he goes, yeah, I just started doing this a couple years ago just for fun, And I'm like, Jesus, dude, and it's, it's kind of like you, had you pursued a metal career.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's very different.
It's just wild to think about because, at that whole time I was still, producing and making music in my room with Audacity. I don't know if anybody.
Yeah. I know Audacity.
And I made mixtapes on Audacity and was playing guitar and trying to get fucking good. And I was like, well, shit, these guys are going on tour. It's like, that sounds like fucking fun. I'd rather be on tour than be in school.
Yeah.
But that, like I said, shit happens and then you figure it out. And then I really enjoy like just this, the talent in every genre and putting it together. Cause there's, like a breakdown is like a hard ass 808 beat. So I'm like, this is just fucking awesome. And it all just goes together. So let's figure it out,
Are you friend? Do you know Tobias from Ghost? Are you a Ghost fan of Ghost?
Yeah.
Because they kind of had a similar thing. Frank Bellows from Anthrax is good friends with him, and he came down to the show. Actually, it was the night before you and I hung out at your show in Stockholm when you played the Globe. We had played the room next door with Slash, and he came down, and it was just nice to meet him because I'm a big Ghost fan. But he had kind of a similar thing like you, where I think he just put some song up on like MySpace and it took off, and kind of like what you did, just put a tune out, and all of a sudden it's 5,000, 100,000, 500,000 views. You're like, holy shit, I think I might have something here.
Isn't that guy, we were talking about your dad. Isn't that what happened? White Iverson just blew up on SoundCloud. And
it's just fucking crazy. Yeah. I'm the luckiest man in the world, and I'm just happy. People like the music, and I'm just happy boy now.
Well, it's good, dude. You really hit pay dirt, man, because everybody likes your music. Whether you're a metalhead, you're a chick, a dude, a millennial, someone old like us. You know what I mean?
That's what's been so cool about Over Now too. Is it's like I see all the comments and metal dudes are like, I've never heard Post Malone before. Now I'm going to go listen to it. And the people like Post Malone go and listen to Over Now and go, this is a really cool. So I bet guys kind of bridging that cool, what you already started doing, bridging that weird gap. I mean, I think it's the coolest bait and switch ever. You're like a metal guy. You become the biggest rapper in the world. And now you're like doing metal and rock shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a lot of, we sit down. So we got the studio set up in the living room right now. And we sit down and just fuck around and see whatever the hell comes out. And then we write this cool ass, like country type vibe. And then we're like, what if we flipped it, put some like awesome heavy drums on it, or we'll fuck around with some metal and then do the same thing. It's just, you never fucking know,
Yeah.
That's
super
fun,
cool. Well, hopefully with our cover of your song, you'll get famous one day and it'll all work out. And it'll
it's kind of like an episode of Black Mirror. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's weird enough for me that I'm in a band with this guy. Like, look around my fucking room. It's like Megadeth.
Right.
And now I'm in a band with him, and then we're covering you, and it's like fucking.
And I'm the only guy that doesn't have any tattoos. I'm like, I only got the ones that came from the factory, the freckles.
Sometimes that's tougher, But that's what I love too. looking on Twitter and seeing like, who's this Ozzy Osbourne guy? Like,
that was so great.
Putting him on. Man.
I tell you what, that is such a great story too, because Ozzy, it's so funny because Zach, and we love Zach, but Zach, when he does Black Label and Zach Sabbath, he sounds like fucking Ozzy. So it's like on the radio, I'm like, is this Ozzy? Oh no, right. it's Black Label. So it was really cool that obviously that you guys did that song, and then even the song that you did with Elton John, and that your producer did that record for him, because man, what a great. I mean, it looked very likely could be the last Ozzy record, that he makes, a full length anyway, and to go to sort of end it there of something just totally turning left corners every way. I mean, that track that you guys did together, man, that just came out of left field. No one saw that coming, and it's just so freaking good, man. So,
and live, that was so amazing. Like tell you what, that show in Chicago at the United Center, like I was blown the fuck away. Like I love your record, but live, it's even fucking. I was blown the fuck away.
Yeah. Thank you very, very much, man. Thank you so much.
Just need some young dude from Texas to come in and kick Ozzy's ass and get some shit going.
He still fucking got it too, and I love it. And
isn't he great? We did a tour, Sabbath and Megadeth. We did a tour in 2014 through South America, and that's our big victory lap down there. We've done really well down there, and Sabbath had never been there before, and it was just great. Just hanging with John Osborne, not even Ozzy, just John hanging with him. And he just, because you got to spend time with him, and just what a wonderful guy, man. Sweet dude.
Yeah. Good guy, man. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, brother, you probably got other shit to do. Thanks so much for hanging out with us, man. This is, I think I'm going to be, me too. It's 10:15 here in Arizona, so I'll stay up for a little bit.
I'm going to go play PlayStation.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
So thanks for giving us your blessing on Over Now.
And hit us that new number too.
Yeah, nice to meet your dad and Joe and everything. And so, rocking.
He's a good guy, and I appreciate you showing him love too. So, love you guys.
Okay, love you too, Posty. Thanks, Austin.
Everybody watching, everybody stay safe, and just stay safe, and everybody love each other and take care of each other. We love y'all very much.
Cool. Thank you, brother.
Great night. Yeah,
love you, dude.
Brother.
See you, man. Bye.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Wow, that was unexpected.
Very nice. That was cool. Very nice.
Yeah, look at this. Cowboys. He's got the Cowboys jersey on too.
That was so cool, man. Well, Thom, dude, you are a true. National Friend Day, wasn't that what it was, or Worldwide Friend Day? So, all right,
that's Friend Day.
Yeah, right. So you're in my T-Mobile top 5, right? And right, remember that? Wasn't that the top 5 in T-Mobile? So that was great, dude. Thank you for doing that, man. Those guys are so cool. What a great family, and just such a good dude. And
did you expect that to happen during our live stream tonight?
I did not. I literally. It's so funny. Like I said, I was coming home from the studio. Where we did a lot of Over Now, where we recorded it. And when I was there last time,
Platinum Underground,
John Aquilino's place, Post's front of house guy Joe was there, and he was editing and putting together the Nirvana tracks that Travis and Post had done, and they were working on that, and we were literally finishing the mix and the master of Over Now. So I literally came home from the studio. I was working on there today. We're putting some bass down on some stuff for a friend.
For Jason Beeler, you can say it.
Jason, okay, all right. I didn't know what he's got. Oh my God, Jason Beeler. So guitar player.
This live stream probably getting like 10 million views now, so we might as well plug everything.
Yeah, right. So Jason from Saigon Kick. Oh my God, he's got some new songs. I mean, Aquilino was just floored. He was just like, "Holy cow!" I said, "I know. I've been sitting at home just kind of working on these songs." And it's interesting, the pitch, because it's tuned way down, but it's funny. I've been in the studio. Obviously, we've been working on our stuff now for a couple months, so my ears are really dialed into I got my studio ears on, and then obviously working with the Megadeth stuff, where we scope way deep and go way down the rabbit hole for perfection on all that stuff. So it's nice, because it was good to be able to come back and go back in the studio, and you and me, look, like I said, you've got some singing to do, and
I do some writing.
Yep. Hey, Sarah, what's going on? Shauna Heth. Yeah, that was good fun, dude. That was nice, man. Especially right as we're we're at radio with Post's song over now. So it was great.
Right. Anyway, go check out the eBay tomorrow. We're putting up some new stuff. David has one of his Rust in Peace anniversary basses that he played on the new Megadeth record that we're going to put up for auction tomorrow.
I got to book my power cord. Hang on a second.
Oh, go ahead. I'll plug everything. So, yeah, David played one of the new Rust in Peace basses. He used it on the new Megadeth record, and we're putting it up on eBay tomorrow for the David Ellefson Youth Music Foundation. So, and a bunch of other shit, too. Sarah's Organic Gourmet. Yay. Wow, that took it out of me, man. That was a great live stream. We just topped all of our live streams on a Wednesday.
That was good, man. Yeah, that was awesome. Every one of them is different. They're cool. The one we did a couple weeks ago for Mark Weiss, man, that was so much fun, dude. Steve from Kicks. I love that band.
Yeah, he was so cool too.
Dude, he sold a record on the live show. I bought it right there from iTunes, right? That's where on the so royalty check coming, Kicks from David Olson. So no, that was a good one too. So yeah, every one of these has been really good. It's funny, everybody who's watching this, me and Tom, I just said, hey, why don't we check in on Wednesday night? We'll just pop on for a little bit.
Look at that. That was Posty's new truck. His dad just delivered it to him and surprised him with it. He just sent me the video.
Oh, nice.
Sick, awesome. Limited edition. It's what is it? It's gosh, where is it? God, we texted so much.
Put some pics up on eBay. That's a good idea. So Tom, let's put some pics up. So look, I've got some strings from the new Megadeth album that I just used last week. I brought a bunch of my used strings home. They're actually
and a bass.
I literally have them right here. So these are the ones.
F5 is no more. But hey, if you pick up Sleeping Giants, there's a bunch of F5 demos on there that were never released. But nope, now it's out, baby.
And I actually have, it's not this bass, but I've got a Rust in the 30th anniversary 5-string. We had one on the that we've done before on the streams, but it's not this one. But it's being shipped to me right now from Nashville. I should have it in a couple of days. That I used during the recording of the Megadeth record. So that we're gonna pop up on the eBay. Do you have the eBay link? Did you pop it up there?
I'll find it. Hang on, give me a second.
Yeah, I'll find it. So if you want to go over there, and of course, all the proceeds from that go to the David Ellefson Youth Music Foundation to keep bills paid over there and keep that up and running. And now that we got our Cisco grant, we got all this gear up here. It's lessons have been going great. Now that Dirk's back home, so he'll be doing some more lesson stuff. And
now we're set with all of our Cisco gear, with all of our stuff. So pretty. Thanks again to our friends at Cisco.
Oh, huge. Yep. So massive. So really, really good.
There's the link. I just posted the eBay link. So check it out tomorrow. There'll be a ton of new shit up there. So well, I think we had another successful live stream, buddy.
That's it, man. That's awesome. Yep. That is good stuff. So all right. Well, what are you gonna do?
You realize this is like the equivalent of seeing Metallica at the whiskey. Post Malone just randomly came on our live. The biggest pop artist in the world just came on our live stream for
Michael Jackson just stopped by.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Paul McCartney just popped by for a minute.
Awesome, dude. I love you.
Posty's a good man, and so is his father. They're good. They're good dudes from Texas, man, or from, I guess, upstate New York, even for his father. But it's and the reality of it is, most people are cool, and most people in the world are cool, and it's nice to see when I've seen Post on Jimmy Fallon, and when I met him over in Stockholm and stuff, he's just yes sir, sure sir, just very kind. He's been raised well, and I say that too. When people compliment me, I said, you know what, you can thank my parents. They raised me well. Any of the problems in my life were not from my parents. I created them myself.
You found those yourself.
I found that trouble myself. So. I like that. DETH. I love that. Nights with DETH.
I know, dude. Lone Star is the song that inspired me to watch The Dirt last night, because I'm gonna write my shit for it. Oh yeah, and I'm like, dude, we were talking about Motley Crue, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna watch the fucking. And it did. It's so inspiring, man. Look, and again in my head, I'm sitting here watching it, going, holy shit, I'm in a band with the guy from Megadeth. You know what I mean? It's still one of those, watching the scene with Nikki. I'm like, yeah, David was there.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny, Nikki and I are good buddies, man. And Nikki's, it's nice when we started the Dystopia tour. We were in Europe. We did some shows. Disturbed was they're doing so good, and they're headlining some festivals over there, and 6 a.m. was over there, which I give big kudos to Nikki, being the big rock star that he is, and Motley Crue had just finished up and had called it quits and done and finished on top after all they've been through. They did that big farewell tour, and he was right back out there in a tour bus, back out playing bass with 6 a.m. on stage, as an afternoon support act, not as the headliner. And I love people to do that. I do that, like we'll headline Megadeth stuff, and then I'm playing to 200 people in some clubs with you and me out doing stuff in it. But it's the fun of playing, man. It's
and it's so funny, man. I mean, honestly, like my two biggest fucking inspirations in life to be where I'm right now are you and Nikki Sixx. I mean, that's it. Megadeth and Motley Crue were like, I don't know what it is about fucking bass players, but maybe I just really liked heroin. I don't know, but seriously, like Nikki said, like Motley Crue was my band, Megadeth was my band, and you and him were my guy for whatever reason. I don't know what. I think Nikki kind of related to a story, and he kind of came from a shitty, broken situation. And you were a kid from the Midwest, much like myself, who moved to LA and just did it. You know what I mean? It's like, to me, those are both just you're both have had such remarkable, crazy fucking. I mean, you've just made so much history just as these kids that came from totally polar opposite situations, but both as unlikely to do what you fucking did.
Yeah. Gustavo, did I meet Tobias? Yes, I did. Tobias. It's funny. I'd never heard his name pronounced. Tobias Forhe, I think, is how they actually pronounce his name up in Stockholm. But yeah, when me and I said Frank Bello is good friends with Tobias. They, he's known him for many years. And when we did Altitudes and Attitude, and we played over in Stockholm with Slash, it was the night before I met Post. And he came down to the show, and it was wonderful. I'm a huge fan of Ghost. I mean, Tobias is just, what a incredible mastermind, for everything that he's done. Just absolutely incredible. And someone else just said Steve Harris, same thing. Yeah, Steve Harris does that with British Lion. I know. Yeah, goes out with Maiden and just kills it, and then back down in the clubs playing to a few hundred people, just for the love of playing. And hey, it's funny? Joel MacGyver, he sent. I got to hit him up and see if I can get a copy of Bass Player magazine, because I don't know where I can get it around here at the stores. But
Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, because didn't he put something in there? I think he put something in there about the new basses, right?
Yeah, I think he did. And there's always something in there, man. Like I got the issue up there with you and Frank on the cover in a frame, sitting on top of my monster fridge.
Nice. Very cool.
Anyway, dude, I'm wiped out. This took it out of me, man.
Man.
Like I'm overwhelmed with coolness. I just don't even know what to do. I'm just like, holy shit! Like, how are we ever gonna top this? Like, literally, short of like Paul McCartney or fucking Elvis coming back from the dead and being like, how are we gonna top this?
You're over now. It's over now. Truly over now.
All right, guys. Well, we love you. We should probably go to bed.
Probably go to bed. All right. Well, thanks, everybody. Yep. Good to see everybody checking in. Yeah. ELLEFSONCoffeeCo.com. Grab your Joe.
Please.
I'm signing bags.
Go to Spotify. Follow us. Follow Ellefson. Listen to Over Now. Officially endorsed by Post Malone. You heard it here, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Post and Rick, for jumping in.
Yeah,
appreciate that, Rich.
Rich, you're great. Your records are on the way. We're gonna send that guy a hell of a care package. That's all I know.
Yeah, I know. I love it. It's cool. So, all right. Well, listen. Have a good night, everybody. See you.